Hi, everybody. Mondion, Astral, Oracles. I'm glad to be with you. Thanks for being here. In this video, we're going to look into truth and truthful expression, personal expression with the Sophia Dragon Tribe. This St. Michael's Eve, if you're watching this in real time, you can still join in on the Dragon workshop. It'll be open form. I plan to do some invocations, activations, different channelings, and let's see where it takes us. But I'm looking forward to playing around with the format. And you can send me a donation and a question related to dragons, and it can be a personal question, but it has to be related to the subject over at Coffee. To the supporters, you can also get in touch, and thank you so much for your support, past and present, everyone. I'll also, I think, be looking into the spirit of dragon's blood, the tree, and this extract over at the sister channel Mind the Wild, so you can also join in there. But let's get down to business and the Sophia Dragon Tribe. So now we're reaching the higher energy centers, we're reaching the throat chakra. The chakra is connected more to personal expression, more to our individual configuration. So you'll find that this is the most psychological of all the chakras, in the sense that it also channels this psychological dimension. So much of the configuration of how our mouth is placed and works depends on our relationship to food, digestion, pleasure, so forth and so on. So it's also one that sort of, in a psychological sense, incorporates and expresses some of the lower energy chakras in the body, or the more fundamental ones. Then of course it's also the negotiating chakra. That means that it's set and configured in ways that's related to other psychological constructs, other people or personalities. And in that way, for instance, the way you smile, the way your configuration for speech is set, those things are also highly culturally determined. So in that way, it's a strange, problematic and idiosyncratic chakra to work with, especially compared to the others that are, let's say, more baseline, and then these higher frequencies that are, let's say, more universal. So in that sense, I find it, at least personally, to be the most difficult energy to get a clear hold of, to really understand what is it about the throat chakra, and this area that fits into the whole system of the seven. And then it's the letter 5 again. It's this idea of the star, the perfectly balanced shape, and it's a unifying, it's a balancing principle. So the idea that the personality is kind of a idiosyncratic structure that's translating things that wouldn't otherwise be able to contact and commune. So, for instance, the higher mental and visionary layers, and the more basic bodily layers of appetite. Those are things that we express, and that in general sentient species do express. But the dragons, of course, truly express this idea that all the material fundamental energies can be funneled upwards and outwards into the astral layers. And the Sophia Dragon Tribe, they're strange entities. I'm quite fond of them. I tend to connect to them in quite an angelic aspect, so they can sometimes have the frequency of more like 7D Pleiadian dragons, more like blue playful, but often they'll have this quite angelic, architectural, very benevolent approach to us, where they really seem to want to activate, shield, and guide. Um, and the reason I want to connect to these, and why I think it's interesting to look into the function of speech and expression, and we could even say personal empowerment, straightforwardness, this sense of earnestness, perhaps. Why that is connected to the dragons is, of course, that we probably all know that dragons seem very straightforward, right? Like they don't necessarily play nice, but they usually play honest, in the sense that they'll tell you what their intentions are before they do it, which of course also then underscores their mastery of the situation, that they're able to announce their will and then see it come to pass, which is again also one of the aspects of fifth dimensional centered experience. So when we get really far into the progress, we can uh, speak reality into being. And you may notice that's actually already in its inception, that because we live in such a volatile existence now, making statements, expressions, can quickly be put through the global megaphone, and then be announced to the world, and have very interesting, strong ramifications for the person speaking them, for better or worse. So, with that introduction, I'll turn it over to the Sophia Dragon Tribe, and they'll comment on this aspect of speech, personality, and the fish chakra. Much love to you guys. Salutations, greetings, benedictions, and blessings. Hello, dear ones. I come forward as a representative of the tribe of dragons that you know by the honorific Sophia. Indeed, we are wise, as this word implies. And my word, my name, it is Minerva. I am happy to join you this day. Though in truth, by joining you, I am not implying that I am with you in time or space. I am with you in vibrancy beyond these two. And so by joining you, I simply clear a path through the vessel speaking. And with that speech pattern, I clear a path in the more subtle layers of energy of the ones receiving the message. You become more attuned to our benevolent influence. You turn your heart towards our wisdom. Our wisdom is adapted to many situations, many unfoldings in the great reaches of this even greater beyond. These we have seen, we have learned from, and we have gathered much wisdom. But for you, dear humans, sweet bipedal strange beings, The wisdom for us is that you shouldn't decapitate yourselves. You should leave your feet intact and keep your toes close to the ground. Let your heels carry the load of your torso and the weight of your neck. You come apart so easily, sweet human beings. Your breath staggers, your speech halts. You are at a loss for words. Why is this such a frightful experience? Because then the mood has you. Then the torrent of change, of the energetic seas that you live in, it becomes apparent, it sweeps you up and carries you with it down into intensities that are too much to manage. So the fifth chakra, your throat, your mouth, even this beautiful key bone, your claviceps, all these act as constrictors of energy, as the dam that controls the flood of the river and allow for things to be cultivated in an orderly and prospective manner. So too do you funnel the vital currents flowing up and down your axis, up and down your spine, funneling these energies. You turn them in to slight, punctuated vibrancies. And with this, you allow for meaning to occur where before there was only shapeless intensity. With meaning you are ordered. The problem, however, is that you usually latch on to order to a degree where you prefer the band-aid, the swift and impermanent solution. You gloss over a disorder of the energy system by pinching, tightening, holding it down. And so the throat restricts, and so breath becomes encumbered. So the skull itself sits askew, a leaning, tilting pillar. Therefore, our encouragement is to learn to funnel the elements through your axis, through your breath, through your system. Allow for the vital waters of the deep and mysterious oceans to well up through you, and allow it to fully flow outwards. What does the wailing of water sound like with your voice? What is the tone of the speech of flowers? How does the hum of the hummingbird sound when it becomes an address to all other life forms it shares its home planet with? Begin to speak on vital matters. Begin to speak on things that are full of life. Turn your conscious attention into talking up a storm on the delightful contours of the landscape. Take delight in the whispers of winds that will soon blow in, but yet are still traveling far off in the distance, coming towards you with their weather change. Do you see how this layer we are opening up for you this day? It is the wisdom of our kind. It is the knowledge that there are rich, deep, valuable essences that can be treasured, appreciated, harnessed, revitalized always by being put to good use, by being brought through the proper channels into a realization of something that is as delightful in difference as it is in unity. This is what we seek to convey. Within you is a world. Within you exists a vast array of dormant energy. Learn to call it forward by distinguishing its tones, its nuances, its qualities of feeling. What energy resides when you touch the fold of your elbow? How is it released as you release the pressure? What is suppressed in the airways? That needs the space of the winged creatures of the sky to take flight and be released. What muck can you clear out from this divine instrument, whether corporeal, as we feel and work with it here, or mental, suppressed and anguished, locked down, set apart, disconnected, or spiritual, wanting for words, not latching on, not daring to fully be. What restricts it and what calls it forward? What entices you in this world? What can you pursue? Which paths are there for you to set your feet upon? You are connected to the Great Mother beneath you, and she gives life to these higher senses through these deep fungs of your body, and your body being a vessel for love, the love of nature that gives without asking, and in silence resides to be awoken by your magic spells, by the words of wisdom that you breathe. I'm Minerva of the Sophia Dragon Tribe. I have been delighted to have joined you this day. Enticed I was to feel your heart's calling. Happy to answer it I was. Farewell, in love, full and fair. Farewell. That kind of got in my throat, as you may have noticed, but it had a very sweet, fine-tuning influence. It seemed, so I appreciated that, and thank you for joining in. Much love to you out there.